guys, so today we're gonna be talking about jeans, and it's gonna be not one but 3 videos about jeans. You're gonna find out some interesting things about jeans, things that you didn't know before. I think it's very important to know the origin, the history of each thing in order to operate it as a pro. So first, I'm gonna talk to you about the history of jeans itself. So why do we have this word jeans? There are several opinions about this, but mostly people think that it comes from Genoa, kind of jeans, Genoa. Genoa is the city in Italy, and in this city, a couple of centuries ago, they were just making this kind of a fabric, thick cotton. Then what is denim and why denim? Denim is a different word, also connected to the city, French. Serge denim. Serge is a woolen fabric. So in French, that means woolen fabric, certain woolen fabric from the city called Nîmes. So denim from Nîmes. It came to English language in 1695, meaning just rough jeans fabric. Before they used the word overalls or waist overalls. So jeans officially were kind of invented on 20th of May 1873. So jeans are made of denim cloth. So what is denim fabric? Fabric is a thick cotton. So cotton is a plant, yeah? So they would take the cotton from the plant, make threads, and then they would weave it a certain way, something like this. I'm not familiar with the whole process. So the fabric was very thick and it was very good for sails. They used it for the ships, and they used it for the tents also, for military, for the tents. So first they didn't make pants out of this fabric. So there was a guy, his name was Levi Strauss. So in 1873 approximately, all that happened, and he bought very cheap sails fabric, and he decided to make pants with this fabric. And those pants were mostly for workers and for gold diggers. There were guys that they found in California some gold. They had tools and they had to put those tools in those pockets. And those working pants were very, very strong with this kind of sails fabric. And that was very comfortable to work with. And they made those 5 pockets in there and they put their tools in there, the gold diggers. And also cowboys were using that fabric, and there were overalls at the beginning also. And first jeans were brown color, just neutral. And then later it became blue. There was another guy, his name was Jacob Davis. He was making those working pants with metal rivets, because if you put this copper rivet on both sides of the pocket, it's much more secure, so the workers would put their tools. When the cowboys used those jeans with those rivets were on the back and on the front by the pockets. So when cowboys were using that, first of all, they were damaging the seat of the horse. So they decided to get rid of those on the back. So they just sewed it differently, the pockets, to make them more secure. Like they sewed it with 2 or 3 threads just to make it more strong. And then on the front also they got rid of those rivets later, because when men were standing by the fire, those copper rivets got too hot and it was just uncomfortable for them. So they got rid of those too. So they just made it much more strong by sewing them a certain way. They started using that blue dye for the jeans. Right now, all those dyes are synthetic, they know how to do it, but at those years, blue dye was natural and it was just the cheapest. It was called indigo, and that was made of a plant, Indigofera tinctoria, that was growing mostly in India. Basically, they got the plants, they put them into the water, a lot of water, and then in 12 to 24 hours after that, the water became yellow. And then men go down into this water and they would start moving their legs, bubbling the water. And when the water was bubbling, it connected to the oxygen. When it connected to the oxygen, blue powder appeared inside of this water, it would fall down. And then they got this blue powder and it was natural indigo dye. See, when they used that very cheap fabric of old ship sails, and it was very harsh, they're very, very rough. It's just not comfortable, so they liked to make it softer, and that particular indigo dye made those jeans softer. And especially after they washed the jeans for some time, they would get softer and softer and softer. They would get lighter, and in some places they would get even lighter than on the other places, like and the knees, right? So we already have some kind of like the workers' distressed pants. And actually many Hollywood stars at that time started using those jeans, like Judy Garland, for example, James Dean. And also when they did those jeans, those pants, at the time they called them just pants or waist overalls. When they made them for workers' men, they sometimes would do whether one pocket on the back or two pockets on the back. Sometimes there were 5 pockets, 2 on the back, 2 on the front, and 1 little pocket here. So 1 little pocket was for whether for watches or for lighter or for gold. Like if they could find some small gold, they would put it in a pocket, and then if they move a lot, it doesn't fall out of this small pocket. So again, it's a bit more secure. Now this is approximately 130-year-old Levi jeans, original Levi jeans, that was sold several years ago for $100,000. This is one of the first ones. So before they didn't have zippers, of course, they had buttons. So they were purchased by one man in 1893. Can you imagine this? And this guy wore this just several times. And this is why they're in great shape still. And yes, we don't see belt loop because there was suspenders before. This second guy, Davis, that I told you about, he wanted to patent the rivets on jeans, so he made this patent together with Levi's. So as I understand, they kind of patented this technology and they just were working together. So these jeans became staple of American fashion, first American and then all over the world. There was that kind of a promo. So you would see like 2 horses are trying to stretch these jeans apart to break them apart, but they can't because these jeans are so strong. So they kind of is selling you the idea that the pants are very strong. Now in 1930s, they created this red label just to differentiate them from fake ones. Other people started making fake Levi's. So as I know, first jeans for women were made in 1934. And the model was called 701. Something like this. They were narrow jeans. They were not skinny, but they were not very wide. So this is why they were more for women. For men, it was more like straight, maybe a little bit on a wider side. And for women, probably it would be already slick at the butt area and slightly going narrow on the leg. So women started also wearing those jeans. Mostly, of course, they were wearing first for maybe working, maybe it's like was World War and things like that, but then it became a part of their fashion when in Hollywood, actresses and actors started also wearing those jeans as part of their outfit. Marlon Brando, James Dean, Elvis Presley, they were kind of selling the idea to people again. And also a good promo was this doll. The doll's name was Buddy Lee. So it was a promo of a fabric. When they were creating those jeans, they were changing shapes a little bit. Sometimes it was overalls, sometimes it was just jeans on the waist. Sometimes it was 5 pockets, sometimes less, sometimes with rivets, sometimes without. So they were changing it and just checking how people were liking them most. But they stopped changing it approximately the time of the Second World War. This is when they already knew what they were doing and they were just doing several types of jeans since that. Nowadays, we have so many jeans options, and every year they are selling classic shape of jeans everywhere, like Zara, H&M, and shops like that, of course, and many other shops. And Levi's shop, of course, is #1, it still exists. So jeans are called differently. They have different kinds of names for the jeans. And of course, every year they try to come up with something different, something new idea in description of the jeans. For example, they add the word vintage skinny jeans. So for us, it already is something new, or it's selling us the idea that if we wear those jeans, we will have that vintage vibe. I really dived deep into that subject too, in different types of jeans and what they sell actually nowadays in the shop. And every shape of the jeans has its own history. Slim, skinny, baggy, flare jeans, bootcut, whatever. So in my next video, we're gonna talk about each shape individually, history-wise. And then in my third video, we're gonna talk about body types and which jeans would be best for each body type. So stay tuned, subscribe on my channel, and then click the bell button so to get notification when my next video is out. So we're gonna talk about many new interesting things soon. All right, that's it. Thank you. Bye. Subscribe on my Pinterest for 13 boards as an inspiration for the body types. Also, you can subscribe on my Instagram. All the links I'm gonna leave down below. Also, you can become my sponsor or subscribe on my Patreon for some exclusive videos, some early access to these videos, and just if you want to support me and my channel. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.